I'm here today with Rachael Brekke. Rachael is a board member of the Camden County Bar Association, and she is our first guest on our Camden County Bar Association podcast. So, Rachael, welcome and congratulations. Thank you for being the first guest.
Thank you, Casey.
This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to getting to know you a little better, and I'm looking forward to you sharing this with your information with the Camden County Bar Association membership. So, why don't you tell me a little bit about your path to being a lawyer? Talk about law school. When did you go to school? When did you graduate? And give us some information.
So my path to being a lawyer probably started when I was in high school and I was deciding where to go to college and what to study. And I knew that I was going to be a lawyer by the time I was 18, so I decided to study business. And I went to American University and I studied finance. And then I graduated in 2008 and I started law school 2 weeks later. And I joined Rutgers Camden Law School in 2008, graduating in 2011 with the JD MBA dual degree program.
Okay, so now you just said two things. Number one, it sounds like you're pretty busy. You took 2 weeks off between college and law school?
I did.
That's quite a transition. And then you jumped right into the JD MBA program.
Right.
Wow. So how'd you manage that in such a, you graduated in 3 years with the JD MBA. How'd you manage putting that all in 3 years, getting that all done?
So the program is designed for 4 years, and I petitioned the board to allow me to do it in 3 years. And I went to the MBA program at nighttime, and I did law during the day. I did my internships and different jobs throughout the 3 years. But the most important thing was that I was able to graduate with my class in 3 years.
So something tells me you were very busy, but yet I still have a feeling you got involved in other things, in charitable and bar association activities while you were in law school. Is that correct?
I did. By the time I was a 2L, I was already in the Bar Association and attending almost all of their charity events.
What made you get involved in the Bar Association at that point?
My grandfather always talked about the Bar Association and how important it was and the network of lawyers and how much of a community it was. And I wanted to be part of that community because I knew I was about to. So I wanted to meet everybody and see what it was about. And then when I noticed how many charity events and how many opportunities there was to give back to Camden, that's what really pulled me in because I've always given back.
So that's going to be even more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great, you see, this is a great first episode.
Yeah.
I like
Setting
that.
bar high, Casey.
There you go.
But just as a stepping stone until I could really find something that brought both of those interests together. And when the president was nominated by the governor, she asked if I would go with her, knowing that I had the MBA and that I wanted to stay involved in business wherever I could.
Just out of curiosity, who is the president?
Diane Solomon.
She related to Lee Solomon?
She is. She is the second President Solomon of the BPU.
Is she really?
Yeah.
How about that? So she's from down here. How'd you know Diane?
Our families have grown up together.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Her daughter's name is Rachael also, spelled a little differently.
So where were you working? You know, you're doing foreclosure and bankruptcy law. Where were you doing that?
Kibitz McKee Relief in Philadelphia and Westmont. They have an office right nearby.
When did you graduate law school?
2011.
Where'd you go?
Rutgers Law in Camden.
And you got your JD MBA?
Yes, in 3 years. So I went to the MBA at night and I did law during the day.
Wow.
With a few jobs in between.
Really? What kind of jobs were you doing?
Well, I did the traditional summer associate at Brown and Connery. And I did auditing for a court reporting company in Philly. I did a contract attorney or a law clerk when I was in law school for a small firm in Center City dealing with government contracts. And I can't keep track of all the jobs I had, but I had a few.
When did you graduate college?
2008.
So you went right to law school?
I did. I started law school 2 weeks after I graduated college. When I started law school.
Where'd you go to college?
American University.
What'd you major in?
Finance and management.
Did you know you wanted to be a lawyer?
I did. That's why I chose business. And I didn't always know that I wanted to get my MBA, but when I realized that when you go to law school, everyone always thinks of you as just a lawyer, I decided that I wanted people to understand that I just spent 4 years studying finance also.
Do most people appreciate that?
They do.
Do they?
Yeah. Well, I also talk to a lot of people that aren't practicing lawyers.
Okay.
So many times they also have business interests, and at one point.
So how's it feel right now? Do you still feel like a lawyer? Or do you feel like more of a...
I think like a lawyer. I can tell that I still think like a lawyer.
But I'm guessing, knowing you, as I've just learned about you, that you became active while you were in law school.
I did.
Yes.
It's so embarrassing. How could you tell?
So, and then when you graduated law school, you stayed active in Young Lawyers, and then it was, so you graduated law school in 2011, and you were chair in 2013. How about that? Go figure.
So when I was a 1L, in my defense, my grandfather spoke to the entire 1L class and talked to them for an hour about getting involved in the Bar Association.
What's his name?
Barry Weinberg.
Barry Weinberg. Oh,
You know Judge Weinberg.
yeah, that's your grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, your grandfather comes in
Yeah.
and talks to the law school.
And then by the time I was a 2L, he had passed away and I joined the Bar Association. I wasn't terribly active. I pretty much always went to the charity events, and I think that's where I started to meet the Brenda Uslers and the Gary Bogeskis and Larry, of course. And I always enjoyed charity events and kids.
Do you think...
Inspiring. Just my best friend has had cancer twice now, and I've seen her battle through it and work and study for the bar exam and graduate and take chemo all at the same time, and it was just incredible to see someone fight so hard.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What about like, I feel like an attorney. You know, did you have like that moment where the light bulb went off, where you kind of crossed that threshold and suddenly, I can do this? Did you have one of those types of things, or
Where I can do
not
this.
so much?
I think the problem is I've always felt like I can do it.
See, that's great though.
Yeah, I mean it is, but I wish that I could tell you a moment that it happened. More often I have moments where I feel like I can make an impact on something or a difference by the events that I have or the ideas that I bring to the Bar Association. So or maybe that's what I feel more than of law is natural to me, being a lawyer feels natural to me, but the difference that we've made so far in Camden County is what gives me those ahas, like I could keep doing
What's your
it.
advice for a new attorney? What's your advice for a law student?
Well, the law,
Same thing?
yeah. The law student is realize that you need more than a good grade.
Okay.
You need to be dynamic. You
That's
need
awesome.
to understand that there is a person to sell, not a GPA to sell, and that you can check as many boxes off on your resume as you want. You can do the law journal, you can do moot court, you can get the, probably not 4.0, but a 3.8, and you're still not going to get the job if people don't know who you are.
That's really
And
cool.
what I say to law students most often is that I know everyone says she got the job because she knows everyone, and it's not who you know, it's who knows you. And that's, I think, the missing link with law students, is they don't understand that it's not how many hands you shake, it's how many people are going to remember that they shook your hand.
That's really cool. That's great advice.
Yeah, I've been saying a lot lately.
And the last question is, when you look back on your career, when the day comes that you pack it up and go home and call it a career, how do you want people to remember you?
I want people to remember that I was always looking for more. I was never willing to believe that we've done enough. And no matter what the job or the public office that I hold, it's always because I want to touch more lives. I want to make a bigger difference, and I know that I can.
That's awesome. All right, that's how we're going to end it.